Thank you for listening to our team presentation today. Allow me to introduce you to our team members that you will be hearing from. You will first hear from me, Courtney Jackson, a resident of Spanish Fork, Utah. Then you will hear from Parker Seidel, who recently moved to Hawaii. Then Garrison Cernek, a resident of Payson, Utah. And finally, Laura Hamlet. We are all students at Utah Valley University. This is a picture of Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple Incorporated. Apple is one of the largest and most successful businesses in the world. Perhaps their success can be contributed to the importance that they take in customer feedback. Apple understands that they need customer feedback to improve their devices. One of the ways that Apple receives feedback from its customers is through NPS surveys. These surveys ask customers to rate on a scale from 1 to 10 how likely they are to recommend an Apple product to one of their friends. If any customers submit a score of 6 or lower, Apple intends to reach out to those customers and get feedback from them, asking how they can improve their devices so that they are more likely to recommend the products to their friends. Another company that values feedback is Ken Garff Automotive. Ken Garff understands the importance of feedback so well that they have made it their company slogan, "We hear you." Ken Garff knows that their success is based on customer perceptions of their products. If they are able to receive feedback from their customers, they will have better success as a company. This is a picture of Claire Liu. She is the CEO of an online company called Know Your Team. Know Your Team is a business all about helping managers and business leaders better connect with their teams through meetings, feedback, surveys, and online communities. They provide products that help teams improve. This company is dedicated to feedback, but Claire Liu shares an experience where she struggled to give feedback to one of her very own employees. The employee she was concerned about was an online tech support representative. He valued quantity over quality. It came to Claire's attention that many of his customer responses were too quick, lacking information, and full of typos and errors. Claire was worried how customers would respond to this performance, but she was too anxious and made many excuses and decided not to give him feedback. She assumed that he would correct his mistakes himself. However, as time went on, it did not improve. Claire eventually worked up the courage and approached this employee with her constructive feedback. Almost immediately, his performance improved, and Claire was relieved to see their success as a company and their customer service department improve. Allow our team to give you a suggestion on how you can be more successful as a company. Give feedback. Why should you give feedback? Promote unity. If you have not received feedback from a coworker or an employee recently, perhaps it's because they are not wanting to approach you. Maybe in the past, you have not accepted feedback in a humble or thankful manner. If you ask others for constructive feedback and you accept their suggestions humbly, you'll be a more approachable team member. Additionally, feedback improves communication. When you write instructions for a project, it makes sense to you because you wrote them. However, it may be unclear to others. If they approach you with their constructive feedback, it improves communication among your team. And don't forget that feedback can be a positive thing. It doesn't always have to be a critique or a correction. In fact, the most successful teams receive 6 pieces of positive feedback for every negative or corrective piece of feedback. Allow me to turn the time over to our next presenter, Parker Seidel.
Why else should you give feedback? Retain employees. So here's a photo of me working at my first job at Krispy Kreme, and I worked here for a total of 4 months. Now here's a photo of me working at Armstrong Gardens, where I worked here for a total of 3 months. And here's a photo of me working at the Marriott Hotel, and I worked here for a total of 8 months. And lastly, here's a photo of me working at the Ranch Hotel, where I've been working here for 2 years plus. Now you might be wondering, why have you worked here way longer than the other jobs that you've worked at? I've worked at here longer because I love the work environment that I work in, and I feel appreciated, and I feel like there's opportunities for growth, and I receive lots of good feedback from my employees. Okay, now we're going to talk about why employees stay at their jobs. So there's first off the good pay and benefits. Most people have a job to earn money. And second, recognition and appreciation. People like to feel appreciated for their jobs. And third, there's growth and development. They want to have a path in their career. And then there's comfortable work environment where they feel comfortable driving to work and comfortable with the employees they work with. And lastly, they're given feedback at their jobs. Positive feedback is another word for praise. I love this quote. It says, and is all about taking the opportunity to express appreciation of a job well done in the hope of inspiring an individual to do many more jobs even better. Here are some of the top reasons why employees should give feedback. First, it enhances their performance. It clarifies the expectations of the job. It builds confidence. It improves leadership. And it promotes employee loyalty. So first, giving feedback, it enhances the performance. So giving feedback shows how they are performing and gives them feedback about how they can improve and do better. And second, giving feedback builds confidence. We all like to feel happy and like we're doing a good job at our work. So giving feedback helps employees receive confidence about their job position and their duties. And then it improves leadership. Giving feedback can help managers provide feedback, and they'll feel more in control of the outcomes of employee development. And they will be more willing to coach their employees and check in with them regarding their progress on tasks or projects. And also giving feedback helps promote employee loyalty. So it's an effective way to help them feel supported in their roles and positions with the company. So what else helps retain employees? First, there's a positive atmosphere. A positive atmosphere is huge. This research from Deloitte shows that 94% of executives and 88% of employees think a positive corporate culture is an essential part of a company's success. I mean, who wants to go to work to a negative atmosphere, like in this photo? We all want to drive to work feeling happy and knowing that we're going to have a happy, good atmosphere to be working in. Also, regular one-on-one meetings are super crucial to have that one-on-one time with employees and build that relationship with them. And regular check-in. There's a statistic that says 39% of Americans American workers say regular check-ins are the #1 thing that makes them feel happy at the office, according to a recent survey. So just checking in with your employees is really important. One of my favorite shows watching up as a kid was X Factor and also American Idol. I love these shows because they both have something in common. They have contestants that will perform in front of them, and then later they'll be judged by how they performed by these judges, and they'll receive feedback on how they did. So it's kind of like the same thing at work. So these performers at these shows, they'll receive feedback, and they can be able to accept the feedback and improve and try to get better at their talent, or they can just ignore it. But it's the same thing at work. So at work, when we receive feedback, we can take that feedback and apply it to improve and get better towards our ultimate goal at work. So there's a recent statistic that says 4 out of 10 workers are actively disengaged when they get little or no feedback, 40%. And then 82% of employees appreciate positive and negative feedback. And 43% of highly engaged employees receive feedback at least once a week, as opposed to 18% of low engagement employees. So these statistics show just how important feedback is and how much it makes a difference. And now we will turn over the time to Garrison Cernette.
What is another reason you should give feedback? Resolve errors. We all know the famous quote by George Santayana, which states, "Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it." Now, what exactly does this mean? Well, let's look at an example. At one time, JCPenney promoted a new CEO, Ron Johnson. In November 2011, this was his vision. In the US, the department store has a chance to regain its status as its leader in style, leader in excitement. It will be a period of true innovation for this company. Now, as we know, as time went on, things didn't completely work out as Johnson imagined it. In fact, it went to the complete opposite. In more or less, Johnson nearly destroyed the company. Now, let's look at some of Johnson's errors that he did. First, he misread shoppers' desires for sales. Instead of promoting sales, he got rid of them and replaced them with everyday fair prices. Second, he marked up prices and got rid of coupons, therefore causing a decrease in demand in customers and increase in demand for competitive markets. And lastly, he promoted change too quickly without testing it in advance. From an article at do.com, they gave one tip of how to increase feedback in the workplace. And it states, to stop incentivizing silence, companies need an innovation positive culture that encourages constructive criticism. Now, how do we promote constructive criticism? First, find the person's strengths. See what they're doing well, compliment them, and encourage them to keep on doing what they're doing. Second, bring up any corrections or adjustments that need to be discussed. See any weaknesses that they have or anything that they could be doing better, and encourage them to work on that and to set any goals that they need to in advance. And finally, ask if there's anything you can do to help the person. As a leader, manager, store leader, or whatever your title may be, your job is to not only discuss goals and to encourage your companies and your coworkers to meet those goals, but to support them in all of their aspirations. Now, we must implement improvement. First, we must brainstorm. Come up with any ideas or any thoughts, goals that your coworkers may have and set them up. Second, create a game plan. Go by weekly, monthly, and yearly of how you're going to achieve those goals, step by step, little by little. And lastly, make the change. You can talk about what you're going to do, and you can discuss what you're going to do with your group, but without deeds to match up with your words, there's no point. From another article at do.com, they give another tip of what we must do once we implement the improvement. And it states, while you do need to understand what went wrong so that you can fix the issue, there is no reason to dwell on it. Once you have taken steps to make changes so that you don't repeat your mistake, you really need to take the next step forward. This means that once you make those changes and once you have continually tried to improve from yesterday and last week, just keep on moving forward. Our next presenter will be Laura Hamlet.
What is the main reason you should give feedback? Be successful. One of the greatest benefits effective communication can have on a company or business is the level of success a company can achieve from giving and receiving feedback. Both customer and employee insight are essential when a business is trying to figure out what works and what doesn't in their company. One of the greatest ways feedback encourages success in a company is by increasing productivity. Through surveys and speaking with customers and employees directly, a business can identify what is killing productivity. Maybe that's the nearest food place being 30 minutes away and employees don't have time to go on a lunch break. Maybe the company could host lunch at the company to increase productivity that way. Maybe upper management is sending emails that don't make any sense, and employees are working on projects that they don't even have to be. Identifying what kills productivity is essential to improve the function of a company. Encouraging a feedback loop within a company is a great way to encourage success. For managers to be able to give employees feedback, while employees are able to give managers feedback, it creates a level of communication that helps the company run way more efficiently. Speaking with employees directly is a great way to do that. At my current job at Jimmy John's, as a manager, we have manager meetings every week where we discuss what's working for the company, what isn't, how to increase profit, and how to increase customer satisfaction. But overall, we encourage managers to speak with their employees. When you figure out what an employee's goals are, what their aspirations are in the company, what they've achieved in the company and what they need to work on, it's a great way to find out what employees are doing great. And you can reinforce that good behavior by giving them a raise. Or at my company, when employees or management have learned all the tasks they need to do to complete their job, or they've done something fantastic, we have a customer and employee board where we pin things on, and everyone who comes in can see the achievements that they have received. You should cultivate a sense of fulfillment to motivate others. When you motivate your employees to work harder and receive rewards in return, they're more likely to put an increased productivity high up on their to-do list. That is exactly what I'm talking about. When you motivate your employees to do a great job, they increase your productivity, and that encourages success. Another great way feedback encourages success in a company is by increasing profit. In 2016, Avande and Sitecore conducted a customer experience survey which showed a $3 return on investment for every dollar spent on customer experience. I'm going to say that again. $3 return on investment
for every dollar spent. That is astronomical. That's so great. Customer feedback is essential for the success of a business. Feedback forms are a great way to get that. Maybe on the end of a receipt, there's a barcode or a URL where customers can show their appreciation and tell employees that they've been doing a great job, or find out where improvements need to be. Maybe the customer experience was not great for them, and a company needs to know that in order to improve. Customer-centric culture is the best way for employees and management to improve profits, and that encourages success. $3 return on investment for every dollar spent on customer experience. That is great. So, let's review. Why should you give feedback? Promote unity. Retain employees. Resolve errors. Be successful. Give feedback. Thank you.